While assisting an elderly man with his groceries at the market, the employee was unexpectedly let go by her boss. But when the market owner finally showed up, nobody could believe what had happened. Sophie was busy restocking the rice in one of the market's aisles. The young woman was incredibly focused and dedicated to her job as a stock clerk. That day, the popular rice brand she was promoting was refilling the rice in a big supermarket chain called Matude Supermarket, well known for various chains throughout the county. Contemplating her life, she thought about her exhaustion and the extensive work hours she encountered daily. However, she had a specific objective: covering the expenses for her gastronomy course and the rent of her small apartment where she resided solo. While she was sorting the shelves that afternoon, she spotted an elderly man with white hair and eyes that were worn out before she had completed half of her work hours. He appeared to be in his 70s and was having trouble locating the items he needed. The elderly gentleman gazed at the shelves, appearing puzzled, clutching a wrinkled list of items he needed to purchase. The young woman paused briefly and, being helpful and kind, chose to walk over to him with a friendly smile. She greeted him with a cheerful, "Good morning, sir. Is there anything you need? Do you need assistance in locating what you're searching for?" The man gazed at her with a thankful expression and nodded in agreement. "Yes, I'm facing some challenges. I haven't done this myself for quite a while," he admitted with an embarrassed grin. Sophia carefully examined the list and helped the old man navigate through the supermarket, picking out each item with precision. While strolling through the market, the pair casually started a conversation. "I can tell you're not even part of this market, are you, dear? Do you work for a different brand?" he inquired. "I seem to be causing you some difficulty, don't I, my dear?" The young lady refuted the claim and mentioned she was completely fine with it. They quickly developed a strong bond, leading the girl to open up about her life, including the importance of her job as a storekeeper in managing her expenses. With a sparkle in her eyes, she expressed her ambition to launch a cozy cafe where patrons could savor the finest cakes in town. Sophia's beaming smile while discussing her plans revealed her deep passion for this dream. Mr. Anderson, the gentleman, listened intently, displaying empathy and understanding. The young woman's ambition charmed him, and he remarked, "Sophia, you have a great deal of determination. I'm confident that you will reach your goals with the hard work you're putting in." "Thank you, sir. And how about yourself? You mentioned that you never go to the store to do your grocery shopping in person. Do you have assistance available?" The discussion smoothly transitioned to why the elderly gentleman was at the supermarket that day. The older gentleman paused briefly before sharing. "I have a secretary who handles this task for me," he said with a gentle sigh. "But today is her day off and I wanted to do something special." He was visibly excited as he explained the purpose of his visit to the supermarket. "My son, who lives in another state, is finally coming to visit me after a long time. It's been months since I last saw him and I wanted to plan a surprise to welcome him back." Mr. Anderson's eyes lit up when he talked about his son. It was a beautiful display of affection and happiness, and the girl could clearly see how much he cherished this unique moment. "That's great. He must be thrilled to have a father who is so attentive," she remarked. As they continued walking and collecting items, their friendship seemed to strengthen with each passing minute, even with just a small gesture of assistance. But then, out of nowhere, something completely unexpected was about to occur. Something to add excitement to the mundane routine at that place and alter the trajectory of that average worker's tale. Right when the girl was almost done with the old man's list, Sophia's supervisor, Albert, suddenly appeared and broke the silence. Albert, a middle-aged man with a stern expression and a commanding stance, was glaring intensely at the young woman. He wanted to see if she had finished restocking like she always does. Upon discovering Sophia's absence from her designated area, the supervisor scanned the supermarket with suspicion and grew increasingly angry. Ready to confront the employee for taking a break in the middle of her shift, the man went out to find her. While the girl and the old man chatted by the shelves in the supermarket, Albert hurried over with an annoyed expression. "What's happening here, Sophia?" he asked harshly, his eyes reflecting his discontent. The girl was taken aback by the supervisor's unexpected arrival, causing her to stumble over her words briefly before explaining. I'm assisting Mr. Anderson with his groceries. He struggled to locate the products and I..." The supervisor's expression turned sour as he interrupted her with a loud demand. "What about the restock I asked you to do? Was that really a big deal? You don't get paid to help old people do their groceries, young lady." he retorted, his voice filled with impatience. The employee, who was friendly and truthful, replied honestly, I was planning to finish after helping Mr. Anderson. He was rushing to give his son a surprise for his upcoming visit. It'll be a quick process. Nothing. You're ditching work, the man cut in, annoyed by Sophia's excuse, refusing to hear an apology. His voice grew louder as he accused her of shirking her duties. Her words were direct and unjust, and Sophia attempted to clarify herself once more. But sir, I was just wrapping up. But the supervisor harshly lectured her, claiming she was incompetent, lacked self-awareness, and was jeopardizing the brand's reputation with her negative behavior. Do you seriously believe you're getting paid to assist an elderly gentleman? Stacking rice is your job, ma'am, and if you're not interested, there are plenty of others who are willing to do it. The elderly man offered. It's my mistake, sir. I allowed her to assist me. She seems like a pleasant individual. She was simply being kind. There's no need to raise your voice at her in that manner. Albert exclaimed in frustration. She's my employee. I speak to her in any way I please. Actually, no, she's no longer part of my team. If someone is unsure of their place, they may not be the best fit for our company. I'll search for someone who's committed to working efficiently. Sophia's departure was a huge disappointment. She was completely shocked and scared by the situation. Mr. Albert, please, this job is all I have. She began tearfully begging. Mr. Anderson attempted to have a discussion with the supervisor, highlighting how Sophia had kindly assisted him and did not merit such harsh treatment. But the man, with a look of superiority, dismissed the old man's pleas, saying, You're just a broken-down old man. You seem unfamiliar with handling a challenging employee or understanding the operations of a supermarket. He then walked away, leaving Sophia devastated on the floor without a job. The elderly gentleman was taken aback by the girl's evident distress. He attempted to console her as much as possible. Oh, my dear, please forgive me. If that information had been clear to me, I wouldn't have accepted your assistance. She accepted her supervisor's decision with gratitude for his compassion and kindness, assuring him that she would seek another job. With a cheerful smile and a sense of determination, Sophia proposed that they keep shopping together to lift their spirits and ease some of the sorrow that lingered. The elderly gentleman was touched by her emotions and understood the importance of her job to her well-being. However, a surprising turn of events was just around the corner. Once they were done shopping at the supermarket, Mr. Anderson requested the girl to wait briefly as he attended to an urgent issue. I'm about to hop on a call, all right, sweetie? She simply nodded and stood by, observing as the man struggled to take his cell phone out of his pocket. While entering the number, the young woman pondered the reason behind his call. She speculated that he might be reaching out to his son, unaware of the significant impact the old man was about to have on her life. Mr. Anderson called the owner of the rice bag brand where Sophia was employed. After a few rings, someone finally picked up the phone. The sound was coming from the speaker. A voice the old man recognized immediately answered. Hello? Hey, Jefferson. It's me, Mr. Anderson, said the elderly man with a commanding tone that immediately caught the young woman's interest. Let's discuss a recent incident that occurred at the Matude supermarket in my town. Sophia was confused because she was familiar with her boss. She was puzzled by how the old man got his phone number. The rice brand owner responded. Of course, Mr. Anderson. How can I assist you? He went into great detail about everything that had occurred. He detailed the girl's kind and helpful actions, along with how she was mistreated by Albert and unjustly fired. He mentioned attempting to speak up for her, but the supervisor disregarded him. While talking, the boss became aware of the seriousness of the situation. This tale had elements of kindness, empathy, and unfairness. Understanding the significance of his rice brand's reputation, he was aware that this unjust termination could impact the company's image. I need this sorted out right away, Jefferson. You seem to grasp my point. If you don't, we won't do any more business, the old man threatened, leaving the young woman even more dumbfounded. After paying close attention, the rice brand owner expressed gratitude to Mr. Anderson for the call and assured that everything would be resolved by the end of the day. He was committed to correcting the mistake and ensuring that justice was served to protect his business. Content with the man's response, the elderly gentleman ended the call and faced Sophia, who gazed at him with a soft smile. The individual mentioned, I've recently had a conversation with the owner of the brand you are employed at. I've detailed the situation, and I'm confident they will handle everything." The girl was in complete disbelief. She was in a state of panic trying to figure out how that small man managed to reach her boss. Then, almost as if he could sense her thoughts, the elderly man approached her, made eye contact, and disclosed a truth that would keep her shocked for a bit longer. "Sophia, I'm the owner of this supermarket," he declared. She was absolutely shocked. He proceeded to share that the Matude supermarket chain was a recent addition to his portfolio, as he had purchased 95% of the franchise's shares. He was a successful entrepreneur with multiple chains of stores across different sectors, including that particular establishment. Being an older gentleman, he typically had assistance with his tasks. However, since his secretary was off for the day, he decided to go grocery shopping with his son. Sophia was totally taken aback. She blinked multiple times, struggling to comprehend the information. The man standing in front of her appeared to be just another customer, but in reality, he was the owner of the place in which she had been working for a long time. She never saw that coming. Upon understanding the significance of the news, Mr. Anderson smiled once more and reassured Sophia that everything would turn out well. It was almost like he had foreseen it. Within seconds, the supervisor who had unjustly fired her would come rushing to him. "Mr. Anderson, I humbly ask for your forgiveness. I never imagined you would be the proud owner of this market. I thought you were just some customer," Albert remarked as he pondered his behavior and recognized that it did not align with the image and values of the Good Rice Company. However, the elderly gentleman wore a frown. Albert addressed the young woman with a shaky voice. "Sophia, I deeply regret letting you go in such an unfair manner. My apologies. I made a mistake." Sophia was taken aback. She was surprised to receive an apology from the supervisor. But before she could respond, the elderly man interjected. "So you're bringing this up now, huh? Do you believe we're fools? You're coming to us for an apology after treating us poorly?" Swallowing his pride, the supervisor explained that he had rethought his actions after an honest discussion with his boss. The owner of Good Rice emphasized the importance of maintaining a working environment built on fairness, respect, and integrity rather than making hasty decisions. "I get that my attitude was off," the supervisor said, stumbling over their words. "Sophia, you are an invaluable employee who deserves fair treatment. I am fully committed to fixing my mistakes." However, Jefferson, his boss, made it clear that if he didn't apologize to the market owner, he would be out of a job. The elderly gentleman was well aware of this. It was his own decision that led to the man's resignation, and that's precisely what transpired. The man refused to accept the supervisor's apology as he believed the supervisor would repeat the behavior with another employee. "You're not fit to manage people, young man. You act entitled and believe you have the right to control others. Please leave the supermarket." The man pleaded with the old man to call his boss, but Mr. Anderson remained firm, saying, "I don't want people like you here." Albert departed feeling embarrassed and lonely. He was fully aware that he had caused his own downfall. Sophia would always remember that day. The man turned to her and extended a job offer as manager in his supermarket. "You're the one I value, unlike him. You're the type of kind and compassionate person the world truly needs." The girl exclaimed, overwhelmed with emotion. She embraced him warmly and expressed her deep gratitude for the chance. "Thanks a lot, Mr. Anderson. This job is going to be crucial for me." "Yeah, I got it, sweetie," he said before asking her to come over for dinner with him and his son later that day. The girl formed a strong bond with the man's family and appreciated his warm hospitality. As time went on, she continued to thrive in her role, showing a strong dedication to her job and the company's principles. Since her unjust termination, she has become a model employee, earning the respect of her coworkers and bosses, and she kept going. After completing her degree in gastronomy, she used the money she earned as a manager to open her dream cafe. On the first day, her initial customer happened to be the same gentleman who had provided her with the chance, Mr. Anderson. She found herself in a beautiful relationship with the old man's son, and they eventually tied the knot. Her life changed completely as she not only had a thriving business and a spouse, but also children, creating a wonderful family that made the old man who initiated everything very proud. Sophia's story started with an unfair incident when she helped an elderly man with his shopping. It ended on a positive and uplifting note, proving that acts of kindness and compassion have the power to not only transform your life, but also resonate with those around you.